iHeart Podcasts. Hear more Gold 101.7 podcasts,
playlists, and listen live on the free iHeart app.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's Jonesy and Amanda starting to go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's Jonesy and Amanda starting to go. Yeah, 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 yeah.
On the cutting room floor today, I love evangelical ministers.
Well, yes. Are they the most rational? They will shoehorn their way in and out of any argument and twist themselves inside out to get their point across. It's quite interesting, isn't it? I've come across this guy called David Lawrence Ramsey III.
No.
He's an American radio personality who offers financial advice, but he's also an evangelical Christian. And every time he's giving financial advice, he brings up Christianity. So this is a big part of his platform.
Right.
He was being interviewed here about whether the fact that people like him have a lot of houses makes them greedy, and is that part of the Christian ethos? Have a listen to his explanation of all of this.
How is it considered ethical for people to own so many houses? I'm just wondering how, as a Christian, this isn't seen as greed. Don't you know that buying up all these homes is what's causing the housing shortage?
Let's just start with not the spiritual part, but your economic understanding. That's not what's causing the housing shortage. Investors buying up houses is not causing the housing shortage.
That is a thing going around, that these massive hedge funds or Blackstone, like all these, they're coming in and buying up.
But they don't have a soul. Blackstone, yeah, those guys are buying up houses. So that's true.
Is that affecting the housing market at all? Because that is.
It probably is to some extent, but not as much as TikTok says it is.
Yeah.
But anyway.
You're on TikTok, though.
I know. But that just proves that I'm lacking in judgment. But I don't even know, 15, 20 houses. And a bunch of commercial real estate as well. How is that not greed? Because I don't own anything. I'm a Christian. And that means God owns it, and I'm managing it for him.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. God owns it, and I'm managing it for him. And those hedge funds don't have a soul. It's right for people with souls.
Sure.
To buy up all the real estate.
You're sharing a house with God. This is God's house.
Yeah.
And in God's house, you obey God's rules.
And God has chosen me to look after this enormous portfolio for him.
I think it's a big responsibility.
Yeah, good luck to him.
I remember when because I went to a Catholic school, there was a Bible passage. It is easier for a rich man, it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to pass through into the gates of heaven. Oh. And that I used to say to the teachers, well, this was, if you're rich, you can't go to heaven. And then...
What would they say?
Well, they would say in Galilee and all those places over in the Nazareth and stuff like that, the castle walls would have a hole in the side, and it was called a needle.
Yeah. And
it was a camel-sized hole. So the camel would get into whatever, the palace or whatever, through this particular hole in the wall, because it was designed to accept a camel. So by that reasoning, it was okay.
So it is easy for a camel to get through an eye of a needle.
This is as the priest drove off in a late model Mercedes.
Waving up to everyone with his Rolex.
I said, fair enough. But, I've all power to them, because they're just evangelical ministers are just slick salesmen, really.
But the evangelicals are interesting because they rely on public money. They rely on fundraisers. I once watched a show in America where one of the, like a nunnish woman was taking donations because they were getting a new satellite dish and she wanted to bless the dish. And people would donate. It's like Tammy Faye Baker and her husband. The number of times they're unmasked as being financially corrupt, sexually corrupt, it's quite extraordinary.
But they believe. That's the thing.
Do they?
There's
do
hope
they
and
believe?
faith.
I don't know some do obviously, but I wonder if these big high-end ones really believe.
Kenneth Copeland, for example, remember?
Who's he?
He's a big-time evangelical minister. I see him on the telly when I come in to work in the morning. Always wears a nice gilet jacket, and he looks very earnest and can quote Bible passages, for anything you want, straight out there. But he was questioned about his use of private jets by this young reporter from Inside Edition.
Do you ever use your private jets to go visit your vacation homes, for example?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Again, getting back to the comment, you said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers.
Can you explain what you meant by that?
Well, let me ask you. But it's a biblical thing. It's a spiritual thing. It doesn't have anything to do with people. People, I love people. Jesus loves people.
Jesus did love people, and he would want you to fly up the front of the plane.
So you don't have to mix with the vermin.
And Jesus, he'd get into the first class lounge, and he was always wearing sandals, which is outrageous.
Well, he'd always find enough fish and bread up there.
Yeah, of course, and the wine.
Interesting, though, as you say.
He'd get wine before 10 o'clock.
Interesting, as you say, that he'd find a Bible quote for anything. He just went off on a tangent. The Bible quote had nothing to do with that conversation.
It is easier for the eye of the newt to pass through the wind of the man that is speaking it.
That's my favourite Bible passage.
Euripides 26.
Euripides.
Euripides trousers. Eumenderes trousers.
Have we offended enough people now?
I think so.
Okay, kids, that's it for today. Come back tomorrow for more Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor.